Hello there, and welcome back to Skyrim. We are here in Skyrim again. Hang on. Tap, there we go. Tap back into the game. Oh yeah. Let's keep going. Shadow Killer, General Kenobi. It's good to see you here, friend. Not sure what's going on with the sound alert right now, but hello. So, where we left off last time, the game crashed, so I ended stream early. But basically, we are here in... I'm trying to remember the name of the place off the top of my head. It's not Saarthal, it's not Volendrun. Volendrun's not even a place, is it? It's a item? Hello, Sabrina. It's going pretty good, Shadow Killer. Okay. I could take this drafted through shot, but it's not really worth it, because I'm not going to use it for anything. It's only going to trigger a trap, and I'm not going to remember to sell it. So, I'm just not going to take it. Yeah, so, like I said, game crashed last time, so we didn't get to complete this place. Ah, it's killing me that I can't remember the name. It's like one of the main quest places. I should be able to know it. Yeah, really the only place I can think of right now is Saarthal. I'll look it up. Ustengrav, of course it's Ustengrav. So yeah, we're here to get the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller for the Greybeards, because I figured it's about time that we continue on with the main quest, at least a little bit. I already searched this stuff. Is that before the stream crashed or now? Oh, are they? Try to turn those down. Let's go with like effects, probably. I guess the music can go down a little bit more too. Hopefully that sounds a little better. Alright. So yeah, main quest stuff. I've been enjoying, I've been watching one of my favorite YouTubers has been doing an Oblivion playthrough, and that on top of all the recent video essays and stuff that I've been watching, I've kind of come to the conclusion, well, like, not conclusion, but like, I'm kind of just like, it's reinforcing this idea that a big part of these games, the Elder Scrolls games, is the dungeoning. Like, I've been thinking about the gameplay, right? Because that's a big part of games in general, is gameplay loop. Like, if it's a good loop that you're gonna enjoy, it's gonna keep you coming back to the game. It's gonna get you, you know, that feeling of pleasure as you play it that makes you want to keep playing. And what is Skyrim's gameplay loop? Well, you go into dungeons, you kill enemies, and you get loot. And that's basically the loop. Like, there is a lot of exploration and going outside, and the thing is, the dungeoneering is actually tied into the exploration, because the idea is, sure, you'll get quests that tell you to go into certain dungeons and do certain things, but it's not just the quests that do that. Your own curiosity will send you into dungeons. Because Elder Scrolls games are very focused on exploration. You know, it'll tell you to go someplace. You know, it'll tell you to go to, say, Whiterun. It's probably a bad example because Whiterun's kind of close. But yeah, it'll tell you to go to Iverstead. You know, Iverstead is a fair ways away, and you're not really sure, you know, there's a lot of stuff between there and where you are. So the focus isn't on the destination. It's not even on the story. The focus is on the journey. So you're gonna be... So, like, between you and Iverstead are gonna be a lot of different locations, a lot of different dungeons, a lot of different things to investigate, you know? And some people might be good at focus, or they may not care about the journey. Yeah, Oblivion's dungeons are a little bit more complex than Skyrim's kind of on-rails experience. But yeah, like, the idea is you're gonna be finding places... There. You're gonna be finding places in your travels that just kinda pique your interest, you know? The point is to explore. The point of these games is to find something that you like the look of, and you go there. I think a lot of people kind of miss the point when they complain about these games and say, oh, the story's like boring, or the yeah, they complain about the story, they complain about the combat, and like, don't get me wrong, there are issues with some of those. I think a lot of people don't like the lack of subtlety in Skyrim's story, for instance. I think that's one of the major complaints I hear is like, oh, Skyrim has like, oh shit. Yeah, like one of the major complaints is I think that Skyrim is very on the nose with, oh, you're the chosen one and you have to like save the world, and like that's a major complaint. But oh, fuck off! What am I doing wrong? I hate this puzzle. Like, is the idea that I'm supposed to sprint and then shout, or shout and then sprint? There we go. Yeah, totally, and Skyrim does too. Skyrim has some great quests. Like, I don't really fully understand a lot of the complaints about the writing. Like, I think it's people being nitpicky, to be honest. And like, if you don't like a game, you don't have to like a game, but I think there's a big emphasis on if you dislike something, you have to have a specific reason for it, and so people will search for various reasons. Oh shit. People will search for various reasons why they don't like a game. And that's kind of the deal with Skyrim, I think, is that some people don't like it for various reasons, and I think a lot of it has to do with the combat, you know? I'll admit, the combat is not the best combat in any game ever, you know? There's no dodge button, it's literally just you walk around. It's basically you punch, you block, and you can cast spells and stuff. Like, I get those complaints. But the thing is, if you're not into exploration, this game isn't really going to appeal to you. That's not a that's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of argument. Sure, there are people that like the fantasy setting, and that's what appeals to them with the game. Or there are people that like, you know, there are people that like General Kenobi. Hello, Nin. It's good to see you. How are you? But the main point, I think, for anyone who has all these complaints about Skyrim and all the issues with it, if you're not into exploration, that's gonna be a problem. Because the game, I will argue that the main focus of these games is the exploration and the world. It's immersing yourself in the world. It's not about the story, it's not about the combat, it's about the world. Looking at your new cards, nice. I saw you post on Twitter that you got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Nice that you're vibing with that. Yeah, that's true, Sabrina. Like, the combat... Being a stealth archer is so powerful that that's kind of just what a lot of people do. And I think that's a shame, because there's a lot of fascinating builds that you can do when you're playing Skyrim. By the way, yada yada, the horn isn't actually here. I need to speak to you urgently. Rent the attic room at the Sleeping Giant Inn, and I'll meet you. Yeah, so... like, the current build that I'm doing right now is an interesting kind of build, because it's not stealth, it's not archer. I use block, I use my fists, and I use various magic spells. And all of those have really powerful support for them. Like, the spells are pretty strong. The, like, blocking, I talked a little bit about this last time. The last time I played this, last time I streamed this last week. Blocking is an underrated skill, in my opinion, for this game. Blocking can be so powerful. Like, you've noticed a few times when, like, someone swings an axe at me, and I block, and it goes in slow motion, and that gives me enough time to react. Like, do I bash them to interrupt their power attack? Do I just walk out of the way? Or do I take the full brunt of the attack because I know I can take it? Like, there's a lot of different options there with blocking, and it's just really good at protecting you as well. Like, what is that? What's a flawed Varla stone? Is this from... this must be from the anniversary edition. I have no fucking clue what that is. But it's worth 1,000, so I'll take it. Holy shit. Oh, those are good. Look at that weight to value. Woo! We are making bank. Yeah, Oblivion does have the class system. And, like, here's the thing. There's two different ways. Like, there's upsides and downsides to both systems. Like, having the class system basically tells you that these are your primary skills and these are the skills that your character is good at, and you're not gonna be leveling up at all unless you use those skills. And, you know, it's great for role-playing. Having those skills is great for role-playing because it, you know, you're telling yourself, okay, my character can't do these certain things very well because they haven't, you know, that's not what they're good at. But it also has the issue of from a player's perspective, what if you, for instance, build your character to be... Like, here's an example. You build your character to be really good at, like, blade and one-handed. Or one-handed wasn't a skill in Oblivion. But you build your character to be really good at blade and maybe archery. Like, those are your two combat skills that you invested in and that you declared should be your primary skills for this character. But then you find a mace, and it's a really good mace. It's a cool mace. You want to switch to using this mace, but it's not one of your primary skills. And through the duration of the game, you kind of found out, I haven't used any blunt weapons at all, so I have no skill in blunt weapons, therefore I'm gonna be terrible with this mace, even though I want to use it. So, and not to mention, if you do use the mace, you're not gonna be leveling up at all, because this isn't your skill. Like, I think the thing is, this class system is good if you want to roleplay and you know what you want to be doing. Like, if you know ahead of time what kind of build that you want. But if you're a brand new character who's never touched an Elder Scrolls game before and all sorts of things like that, then what your experience is going to be is, if you find a playstyle that you think you like and you kind of want to switch to, you're going to be disappointed because you already picked at the beginning of the game what your playstyle is. So if this is your first experience with the game and you learn later on down the line after you've already designed your character that, you know, I kind of want to switch to magic. I'm not a huge fan of, like, the being a knight. I kind of want to use some more spells and, like, you know, do a conjuration build or something. Too bad. You already picked that you're not a conjuration character, so sucks to be you, I guess. Yeah, and it's a shame. It does have issues. I mean, it has benefits for role-playing purposes, but it also has issues. And I think, yeah, that's also the thing with Skyrim. Like, Skyrim doesn't have the class system, and it kind of goes two ways. Like, yes, a lot of people do end up doing Stealth Archer builds, because Stealth Archer is one of the most powerful builds in the game. But at the same time, like, yeah. But at the same time, like, you can play through this game and realize, oh, actually, I think I like magic. Like, you go to the College of Winterhold, and you're like, you know, I've been a knight this entire time, you know, I've just been using heavy armor and two-handed weapons, but oh, would you look at that? I'm kind of into the idea of using spells. So you can just start using spells, you get levels for doing so, and yeah, there's just a lot of reasons why there's benefits to both systems and drawbacks to both systems. Is the thing. Yeah. Okay, there's your body. You had nothing useful. True, Bill's boobs. Yeah, like... But anyway, yeah, back to... Oh, get back here. back to another one of my points with like an issue with yeah, a lot of people complain about like the combat and all this other stuff, and like they're missing the point at what the game is all about, because the game isn't about the combat. The game isn't, I would argue it's not even about the story. Like, it doesn't need to sell the story to you, is what I mean. Like, if you enjoy the story like I do, because I think the game has a fascinating story, like, tell me this isn't an interesting, like, I hear complaints about Skyrim's story, right? Tell me this isn't an interesting story, because we're in Skyrim, this frozen wasteland up to the north, and we're in the aftermath of the Great War, in which the Empire, which all the way up until we know in like all the previous games, the Empire is actually like pretty powerful, and they kind of control everything. Now they're kind of in their downfall for the first time we've ever seen in any of the games. Like, the Empire is at its weakest, the Aldmeri Dominion has risen up, and the Empire is crumbling all around, and we're kind of seeing the Empire as it crumbles. Like, that's the main plot of the game. Well, not the main plot. It's a subplot of the game with the Civil War. Because the entire reason the Civil War is happening is because the Empire is in shambles, and yes, falling apart at the various threads that are holding it together. And in the midst of this entire struggle, where the Empire is failing and the weakest it's ever been, and the weakest we've ever seen it be, the dragons have returned. Like, these are ancient beings of legend that no one has ever seen, ever. Like, any living person has never seen a dragon, because they were all thought to be extinct, because they all were supposed to be extinct, and now they're coming back. And the reason they're back is because there's this...
I've been looking for you.
Hello?
Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
What the fuck did you give me? Point being, like... I guess I'm just gonna read through all these, because I have no idea. Oh, here we go. Someone please help. A group of necromancers are experimenting with conjuring zombies using ancient, dangerous magic, which I fear will have unintended and irreversible consequences. I was expelled from their studies, and as their ambitions grew into folly against my warnings, they're performing a ritual to summon a large group of these foul, uncontrollable creatures as we speak in the southernmost area of Skyrim, and must be stopped before sunset. That is yet another quest from the Anniversary Edition. Gotcha. So, like, really the only argument I can see against the game is that the game, against the story of the game, I mean, is that it's maybe a little too on the nose. But, like, I don't know, it's very fascinating to me, and maybe it's an issue of, like, one too many games have you playing as the Chosen One, and now people are bored of it. But here's the thing. I feel a lot of that criticism has only come after many years since the game has been out. People didn't have that criticism back in 2011 when the game first came out. People loved the shit out of this game. I think the issue is that they've since become desensitized to that kind of story, and now they have these issues with the story being a problem that they didn't have before. Like, it's a retrospective, it's a hindsight, it's not a first impression.
Stonehill's warmth is a welcome change in this cold, bleak land.
What is Stonehill?
I'm just trying to make a living. I'm just here to work the mine.
No one has any dialogue. Stone Hills.
Nothing else matters.
Guess we'll investigate some of these. And that's entirely fair, Sabrina. Like, but then again, like, Oblivion has you becoming the hero of Kvatch, right? Like, and the thing is, here's another thing. The game, like, sure, if you follow the story, you are the Dragonborn, yada yada, you're everyone, you know, you're the savior of everything. But the game gives you the tools to just ignore that. Like, the story is there if you want it, and sure, you know, random guards that you pass by are gonna have the dialogue of like, oh, you're the Dragonborn. But you can just ignore that. Because that's kind of how the game is meant to be done. Like, you can just kind of go off and do your own thing. That's the entire point. Like, you can just, like, the story is there, but the story is not there because you have to complete it. The story is there if you want to complete it. Because you can just, you know, buy a house and play house in, say, Lakeview Manor with your adopted kids and your husband and be like, yo, I'm don't mind me, I'm not the Dragonborn or anything, I'm just some, you know, person that enjoys living their life and just kind of ignoring the issues of, you know, the Civil War and the dragons returning. I'm just kind of chilling and doing my own thing. So, yeah. Like, the story is there. The story is there because it has to be. But no one's forcing you to go through the story. Now, I will say, one issue that I do have with it is I don't like stories that pressure you with how they're told. Like, the games with the artificial time. If there is an actual time limit, I would mind that too, but like, it at least makes sense. But the way the story is told, it's like, oh, the World Eater is back. We have to like hurry up and find a way to stop him before he destroys the world. But it's like, I could spend 100 days, 1,000 days. I can spend as many days as I want not doing the main quest, and nothing's gonna happen. Like, there is no rush to complete the game. Even though the story would have you believe otherwise with how they write so much urgency. Those shadows are... What's going on with the shadows? So that is one issue that I will say that the game has. It gives you like this artificial urgency.
If you're here about the mine, it's already got an own.
Cool. Guess this... Not sure what this place is. Was it added with the anniversary edition, or was it added with the cutting room floor? I'm not sure. Hello, Ian. But yeah, you know, the game...
Nope. Sorry.
Yeah, it would be nice if they left the artificial urgency for later on in the game, I guess. Like, if up front, you know, they slowly introduce the dragons throughout the story. Like, say, imagine this. Here's one way that I think the story for Skyrim could be slightly improved. What if they, instead of having the very first problem be the dragons and just have the Civil War be kind of the side thing, make the Civil War part of the main story. And you could have, you know, your and this isn't even just you have to choose a side in the Civil War. You can just kind of go off and do your own thing and not really have a favorite side and not be forced to choose a side, but you'd still be affected by it. And, you know, you'd still see people having skirmishes out in the open. You'd still see the two armies occupying the different holds, and you know, you still see the impact of it even if you're not directly involved in it. I'm not sure what... Ooh, here's Mike.
Mike has heard it is dangerous to be your friend. The people of Skyrim are more open-minded about certain things than people in other places. Mike is tired now. Go bother somebody else.
That last line was interesting. The people in Skyrim are more open-minded about certain things than other people are in other places. I'm not entirely sure what that's referring to. The immediate thing I can think of is necromancy, because I believe necromancy is outlawed in other places in Cyrodiil. Like, in other places in the Empire, I mean. But in Skyrim, like... But that's specific to the college, it's not specific to Skyrim. So I'm not really sure. But yeah. Yeah, like... That's the thing, if a game's story is all about you being the hero, I don't think that's as big an issue as people make it out to be, because you can just kind of ignore the story and do your own roleplay. The game gives you the tools to do so. Like, sure, you know you're the Dragonborn, and sure, everyone reacts to you being the Dragonborn, but who's telling you you have to act like the Dragonborn? No one. Like, unless you're doing the main story, you can just kind of go off and do your own thing and forget that you're the Dragonborn. You can just go off and be, you know, a member of the Companions, if that's what you want to do. Or you can join the College of Winterhold, if that's what you want to do. No one's forcing you to be the Dragonborn. It's just what the main story is. And the game has to have a main story. Like, I guess technically it doesn't have to, but people would complain if it didn't. So, but yeah. But anyway, back to what I was saying, like, if they made the game where it started off focused on the Civil War, and then, like, kinda towards the end of Act 1 is when they introduced the fact that the dragons are returning. That would be a better way to do it, I think, because then there's not this artificial urgency from day one. Because, literally, think of the very first act. You're being transported on your way to Helgen, and then you're about to be executed, and then Alduin shows up and destroys the place, and then the people from the two Civil War factions are like, join me while we escape Helgen, and then you have to escape Helgen and run away from the dragon attack, and then as soon as you leave Helgen, the person that you chose to do the entire opening with is like, oh, we need to get to the Jarl and warn him about this, or like, we need to get to Riverwood and warn them about this. And so that's like your very first instance of urgency, is like, well, I have to, like, the dragons are back, so I have to warn someone. So now you have to go to Riverwood, and the people in Riverwood are going to tell you to go to Whiterun, because you need to tell the Jarl. And that's going to be your very first sense of urgency is, well, the dragons are back and someone has to be warned, so I guess I have to go tell the Jarl of Whiterun. Because if I don't, then the dragons are going to destroy everyone and no one's going to be prepared. But then, you talk to the Jarl of Whiterun, and he's like, well, I can do, there's something you can do for me. You can help Farengar, my court wizard, because he's been researching the dragons, and if we research the dragons, we'll know how to deal with them. And that's your second sense of urgency, is like, well, the dragons are back, and the dragons are about to destroy everything, so I guess I need to help the court wizard do his dragon research. And so he sends you to Bleak Falls Barrow to recover the Dragonstone. And he kind of had this ticking clock because, well, the time that I'm spending searching for the Dragonstone, the Dragonstone, the dragons could come back and attack again, and I won't be there to stop it. So I need to hurry up and get this thing and bring it back. And then you bring it back. And then, oh no, I've brought back the Dragonstone, but now there's a dragon attacking the Western Watchtower. What are we gonna do? Well, we have to go and fight the dragon. And so right away you're kind of shoved off and you have to fight the dragon at the Western Watchtower, and then you do it. And then you come back to the Jarl, and on the way back to the Jarl, you hear the call of the Greybeards, and the Jarl's like, well, we heard the Greybeards gave a call for the Dovahkiin, and I guess you're the Dovahkiin. So you need to go and visit the Greybeards. They'll be able to help us with the return of the dragons. And then your next sense of urgency is that you have to go from Whiterun to Iverstead so you can take the 7,000 steps up to the Greybeards. The entire first act of the story is built around this artificial sense of urgency, even though there's no ticking clock in the game at all. There's no one telling you, like, the game's not gonna punish you if you don't do this stuff immediately. Like, say you leave Helgen, and the guy's like, oh, we need to go and warn the Jarl that the dragons have returned. And if you just say, fuck that, I'm gonna go all the way to Riften and join the Thieves Guild, the game doesn't punish you. You're allowed to do that. And like, there is no like, it shows that the ticking clock is 100% artificial, and there's actually no time limit to any of these. Like, you can do your own thing for as long as you want, and the dragons will never destroy the world. You always have enough time to just kind of do your own thing. So if they at least waited to introduce that sense of urgency towards the end of Act 1, instead of having it be immediate, that would be a little bit better in my opinion. And I will say, Oblivion isn't sin-free of this either. Because your very first instance in Oblivion, after you escape the dungeon, the opening dungeon, the Emperor is assassinated, and now the dragonfires aren't lit. And now what do you have to do? You have to bring the Amulet of Kings to the next in line. And, you know, after that, you know, the Gates of Oblivion open, and now the entire plot of the game is how do you shut the Gates of Oblivion. And again, it's this whole artificial sense of urgency where there's some big bad thing that's happening that needs to be stopped, and if it's not stopped, then the world's gonna end. But the world never ends, because you're just kind of allowed to do your own thing. So Oblivion isn't sin-free of that either. The one that I'm least familiar with is Morrowind, but that one I think does a little bit of a better job with it. You know, it slowly eases you into the story, and there isn't this artificial sense of urgency, except for the part where you contract that one disease. I can't remember what it's called, but you contract a certain disease. I guess that's the one where you kind of had the artificial urgency, but again, like, that doesn't happen for a while. Like, that's later in the storyline. But yeah, like, that's an issue that I do have with the story, but overall, I don't think it's a bad story. Like, people treat it as, like, it's the greatest sin of game writing ever. And I think they're a little bit too harsh on it. Is it perfect? No. Like, I have clearly just stated that I too have my issues with it. But I don't think it's bad. Like, I don't think it's the end of the world that this story is what it is. So yeah, you know, that's just kind of my take on that. But all of that again is like, you're supposed to learn about the story as you play through it. Or not the story, you're supposed to learn about the world as you play through the story. Like, you're just one piece of this entire puzzle. Even if you're the chosen one, like the great savior of everything, like the Dragonborn, you're still just a tiny little piece in the grand scheme of things. Like, more is happening in the world than has to do with you. Like, the Civil War is going to happen regardless of if you get involved in it. And sure, the Civil War is not going to end unless you get involved in it, because that's kind of how the plot, like, that's kind of how the game is written, because it doesn't want you to feel left out. But let's just think of post-game, like, after the story of the game is over, the Civil War is going to have to resolve one way or another. Like, there is no stalemate for the Civil War. Either the Stormcloaks win or the Imperials win. Even though you won't see it unless you get involved. And, like, the world is living on without you. Like, if you didn't go to the College of Winterhold and do the College of Winterhold questline, the Eye of Magnus would still have been discovered in Sarthal. Someone would still have to have, you know, like, the students were still going to have that field trip to Sarthal. Someone was still going to eventually pull that amulet from the wall and get locked inside, and they would have to figure out a way to escape. And then, in doing so, you know, they would still go on the entire quest, and someone would discover the eye. Even if it's not you. And say you go through the Dark Brotherhood, right? Let's see. So with the Dark Brotherhood, like, you have the various contracts. I guess with the Dark Brotherhood, it's a little bit more complicated because there is only one listener, and you are the listener. I'm not really sure how the Night Mother chooses her listeners, but I'm fairly certain that, like, it feels to me like if you hadn't shown up, then there wouldn't have been the listener. So fate kind of pushes you to show up. But maybe she would have found a different listener, I'm not sure. Hello.
What's a milk drinker like you doing out here?
I've never seen that
mother.
armor. I'm gonna kill you, but...
Why? What are you gonna do? Cry?
I want your armor.
I don't have to take that from you. Never should have.
Mr. Flesh. Yeah, you're not so tough. I mean, you can take a few punches, but, like, you're gonna do nothing to my armor rating. Like, even if I'm not blocking in time to block your attacks, you're still not doing anything to my health. Oh, would you look at that? You used a healing spell, how cute. Or not spell, potion. And down he goes. Okay, what are you wearing? Orcish plate. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna assume that was added with the Anniversary Edition. So yeah, you know, that's just kind of my take. Like, some of the quest lines are a little bit more dubious and probably do require you specifically to assist with them, but some of them are a little bit more, you know, it's not about you. Like, the companions, I think. I'm fairly certain the companions have a whole, yeah, like their entire thing with the, like, it could have just been any random person to show up, and the companion's questline would still have happened the way it did. Like, yes, there's a whole thing about you showing up in, Podlack streams, but, like, if you ignore that bit, it could just be any random person. Like, he could have dreamed about any random person. Who says that it had to be you? So yeah, like, the game gives you the tools to just kind of go off and do your own thing. And that is really what the game is all about. It's about making your own story as you come across it. And part of your own story is going to be what you discover in your travels. Because again, the exploration is the important part. Let's go back to the beginning. You escape Helgen. The very first thing you see is Riverwood. Or, like, you're being pushed towards Riverwood. Because the person you escaped with is telling you, you need to go to Whiterun. The game is guiding you in this direction. It's not on rails. It is an open world, so you don't have to go in this direction. Also, the very first thing you see, if you go down this road, you're gonna see Bleak Falls Barrow, like up on the mountains, and you're gonna have your guide tell you what Bleak Falls Barrow is, and you might be like, you know what, fuck Riverwood, I'm gonna go and investigate this. And sure, that is just kinda also pushing you towards the main quest. But if you choose to go to Riverwood, you'll see this mine show up, Embershard Mine. And you'll be like, huh, I maybe want to investigate that a little bit. That seems a little interesting, you know? A mine full of bandits, there's probably some good loot in there, and so you go through Embershard Mine, and there you go, you've done your very first bit of exploration. No one told you to go here. It's just there for you to discover on your own and have a little adventure. The Guardian Stones is the first thing that you show up, and the Guardian Stones is Skyrim's concession to not having a class system like Oblivion does. Because this nudges you into choosing a playstyle, but it doesn't force you to commit to a playstyle. If you go to the Guardian Stones, you can always change your mind. But whatever you choose to go with, say you choose the Warrior Stone, well, now you're gonna be focusing a lot on warrior abilities, but say later on you do go to Winterhold and you decide you want to do the questline there, and you decide you like magic, you can always come back to the Guardian Stones and switch to the Mage Stone. But yeah, you know, hang on, I will be right back. Alrighty. I am back. Sorry about that interruption. Had to get the door because my desk got delivered. I ordered a desk. So, anyway, yeah, with the exploration, you know, the game kind of guides you in this direction. There's various things that you can discover along the way. Because there's a compass. And the compass will have these little symbols on them, telling you that there's a point of interest in a certain direction. And it's not pushing you to go to those places. You can ignore them if you want, and it's fairly easy to do so. But if you're explorative type, you're going to be, you know, wanting to go in a certain direction. And let me tell you, when the game tells you from Whiterun to go to Iverstead, that is the first big point of exploration. You know, the game is telling you a location you have to get to, but it's not telling you how to get there. Also, I will say, no one ever tells you to go to Iverstead. The marker tells you to go there. The game, the people tell you to go to High Hrothgar, and that's another thing. Like, you can just find your way up there yourself. You don't have to go to Iverstead, but that's the easy way to get there, and the game tells you to go there. But at this point in the game, you know, it gives you a direction. It doesn't give you a how. It tells you, you know, you can go to the stables and take a carriage to Iverstead. That is one thing that you can do, and it's an option if you don't feel like doing the exploring, you know, if you're not the adventuring type. But if you are the adventuring type, well, you head down to Whiterun Stables, like right around here. Yes, you can Skyrim horse up to High Hrothgar, and that was how I first did it, Sabrina, because when I first played the game, I didn't realize, in my first playthrough, I didn't realize the map marker was telling me to go to Iverstead. I thought I just had to go to High Hrothgar because that's what I was told to do from the Jarl. And I'm like, well, how do I climb a mountain? Because the mountain climbing issue is a problem in this game. And then I just looked up on Google, how do I climb the mountain? And people were like, well, horses can climb the mountain because the horses are buggy as shit. And so I took a horse up to High Hrothgar. I don't think I ever visited Iverstead in that entire playthrough. So yeah, you know. But yeah, from like point A to point B, you can, you know, use the road signs to tell you where to go, and the road signs are going to tell you you want to take this route, this one right around here, and around here-ish, it kind of gets confusing. Because there is a little road that goes all the way up here, and that is the most efficient way to get to Iverstead, if you choose this northern route. I will argue that the southern route is the most efficient and the most direct way to get there. But the road signs are going to tell you to take the northern route. And I don't think the road sign tells you to take this road right here, or if it does, it's, you know, it's not very clearly marked. It's easy to miss. But you can use your intuition and be like, well, Iverstead is in that direction, the road is in that direction, so I'm gonna take this road and hope it takes me to where I want to go. Or, if you don't use your intuition like that, and instead continue to follow the route as the road tells you and follow the road signs, you're gonna be, you know, heading up this way. And eventually, you might find yourself near Riften, because this entire time you were kind of walking around here, and it's like, oh, you know, I could continue on the road to Iverstead, but at this point in my journey, I'm close enough to Riften, I might as well go here and investigate it. And so that's where the game takes you. You know, you kind of get lost from the main story, and instead you're investigating Riften and seeing all the stuff you can do there, and before you know it, you're part of the Thieves Guild. And the Thieves Guild is sending you on all sorts of different directions after that. The other thing that could happen, say again, you're, let's go back to the very beginning. All of these holds, the main capitals of each hold, are marked on your map from the very beginning of the game. See, I've not been to the Reach at all with this playthrough. Like, the Reach is completely unexplored for me. But I still know Markarth. So, right out of the bat, you leave Helgen, and say you're around here near the Guardian Stones. The game is telling you to go to Whiterun. And that's the direction Whiterun is, like right up this road. But there's another hold capital marked on your map, and it doesn't seem too far away either. Falkreath. What things could you discover in Falkreath? Well, there's a Daedric quest there. 2 Daedric quests, in fact. There's the Hirsine quest, and then there's the Clavicus Vile quest. And both of those are in Falkreath. So if you want to ignore where the game is telling you to go, it's not that far of a journey to just kind of go down the road the other direction and find yourself 2 whole Daedric quests. This game is built to take an explorative mindset when you go and play it. People complain about the combat and people complain about the story, but they ignore the most important part of the game and the entire point of the game. And that is the exploration. And I think that's one of the things that Skyrim excels at, or Elder Scrolls games in general excel at.
They don't have to be perfect.
And not
Just send them
enough
over when
other
they're ready.
games. And not enough other games have exploration that's done quite as well as the Elder Scrolls games do. So yeah, you know. Also,
You're new around here,
Dorothy
so I'll go
is
easy on you. But don't get on my bad side.
a witch. Dorothy is a witch. So let's check out the Sleeping Giant Inn, shall we? Speaking of the main quest,
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything. Or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
right? So, who are you,
Hear that?
Delphine?
I'm the innkeeper. It's my business to keep track of strangers.
I'd like to rent the attic room.
Attic room, eh? Well, we don't have an attic room, but you can have the one on the left. Make yourself at home.
Right.
So you're the Dragonborn I've been hearing so much about. I think you're looking for this. We need to talk. Follow me.
Alright, we got the horn. This is an interesting bit of the quest, and it might fall flat to some people, and I don't think the execution is perfect, but it is very interesting. It's not very straightforward, like, it's not forced down your throat, like, basically, you know, you're meeting Delphine. Well, like, the Greybeards. The Greybeards told you to go and find the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller because, you know, they want to test you. They want to test your skills with your shouts and being the Dragonborn. So they tell you to go and find the horn. Now, Delphine is a covert person who knows more than she lets on. You've actually been working for her in the first act of the game, when you talk to Farengar and he tells you to go find the Dragonstone. She is the one that discovered its location in the first place and shared that information with Farengar. So from the very beginning of the game, you're leaving Helgen, going to Riverwood, going to Whiterun, and this innkeeper. The innkeeper in the very first town you go to is kind of behind a lot of it. You know, she knows more than she lets on. And then you go to Whiterun, you know, and then you go to the Greybeards. The Greybeards tell you to go to Ustengrove, and she wants the Dragonborn because she's a part of the Blades. And the Blades are sworn to protect the Dragonborn. So she wants to find some way to, like, you know, get to meet you. So what she does, and she doesn't know who the Dragonborn is. She just knows there is a dragon, because she heard the thunders from the Greybeards. So what she does is she goes and steals the horn, because she knows that's what the Greybeards are going to tell you to do, because they're pretty predictable. You know, they're kind of traditionalists, and what do? You know, this is a symbol of importance to them, so if she steals the horn and leaves a note, she can get an audience with you, even if you otherwise would have no reason to visit her. Why is she doing all this covertly? Well, she's a member of the Blades. And the Blades, ever since the Great War, and the Empire lost the Great War, they've been forced into hiding. They are a great faction that for, I believe, the last 3 games you've been a member of, or been in any way associated with them. Like, you associate heavily with them in Oblivion. I'm pretty sure you work for them in Morrowind 2, and I don't know about the first 2 games. So for the last 3 games, you know the Blades. The Blades are pretty significant to the main player. But now they're kind of broken up, because the Empire's in shambles, and the Empire is no longer Dragonborn. So she's having to do all this in secret, right here in Riverwood. And I think that's very interesting. It's a very neat way to do the story. People, how is this bad writing? Like, I'm confused when people complain about Skyrim having bad writing. What part of this is bad writing? Please tell me. I don't see this as bad writing. I see this as good writing. Like, I see this as interesting. Yeah, I do want to play the 2 older ones at some point.
Close the door, then we can talk.
Alright, let's close the door.
Now we can talk.
One of the few instances in the game where they ever tell you to close the door. She doesn't tell me to close this one though, but I will anyway. Because we don't want the Thalmor to find us. Alright, Delphine, what do you got?
The Greybeards seem to think you're the Dragonborn. I hope they're right.
You're the one who took the horn?
Surprised? I guess I'm getting pretty good at my harmless innkeeper act.
What's with all the cloak and dagger?
can't be too careful. Thalmor spies are everywhere.
What do you want with me?
I didn't go to all this trouble on a whim. I needed to make sure it wasn't a Thalmor trap. I am not your enemy. I already gave you the horn. I'm actually trying to help you. I just need you to hear me out.
Go on.
Like I said in my note, I've heard that you might be Dragonborn. I'm part of a group that's been looking for you. Well, someone like you, for a very long time. If you really are Dragonborn, that is. Before I tell you any more, I need to make sure I can trust you.
How do I know I can trust you?
If you don't trust me, you were a fool to walk in here in the first place.
Why did you take the horn?
I knew the Greybeards would send you there if they thought you were Dragonborn. They're nothing if not predictable. When you showed up here, I knew you were the one the Greybeards sent, and not some Thalmor plant.
Why are you looking for a Dragonborn?
We remember what most don't, that the Dragonborn is the ultimate dragon slayer. You're the only one that can kill a dragon permanently by devouring its soul. Can you do it? Can you devour a dragon's soul?
I can.
Good, and you'll have a chance to prove it to me soon enough.
You said the Thalmor are after you?
Yes, we're very old enemies. And if my suspicions are correct, they might have something to do with the dragons returning. But that isn't important right now. What is important is that you might be Dragonborn.
So what's the part you're not telling me?
Dragons aren't just coming back. They're coming back to life. They weren't gone somewhere for all these years. They were dead, killed off centuries ago by my predecessors. Now something's happening to bring them back to life, and I need you to help me stop it.
Do you know how crazy this sounds?
A few years ago, I said almost the same thing to a colleague of mine. Well, it turned out he was right and I was wrong.
What makes you think they're coming back to life?
I know they are. I visited their ancient burial mounds and found them empty. And I figured out where the next one will come back to life. We're going to go there, and you're going to kill that dragon. If we succeed, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
How did you figure all this out?
You should know. You got the map for me. The Dragonstone you got for Farengar, remember?
Right, you were at Dragon's Reach when I gave it to him.
So you were paying attention. I arranged to have Farengar recover the Dragonstone for me. It's what I do. I make things happen from behind the scenes. After all, here you are.
The Dragonstone was some kind of map?
Yes, a map of ancient dragon burial sites. I've looked at which ones are now empty. The pattern is pretty clear. It seems to be spreading from the southeast, starting in the Gerals near Riften. The one near Kynesgrove is next, if the pattern holds.
How did you figure all this out?
You should know. You got the Dragonstone was a map of ancient... It seems to be spreading from the southeast.
So where are we headed?
Kynesgrove. There's an ancient dragon burial near there. If we can get there before it happens, maybe we'll learn how to stop it.
Let's go kill a dragon.
I need to get into my traveling gear. Give me a minute and I'll be ready.
Right.
That's better. Let's get on the road to Kynesgrove.
Not before I help myself to some of your stuff. I guess I can wait for the rest, though. You want to close the door? No one can see you?
Orgnar, I'm traveling. You've got the inn till I get back.
Right. Happy trails.
Alright. Now here's another instance of artificial time limit. However, this one is a little bit more... You can, like, you feel the pressure of doing so, because in other instances, it's really just, the game tells you, go someplace, you go someplace. In this instance, you're following someone. Like, you have an obligation to this person to meet them, because they're going out of their way to leave their home to go to this place that you're gonna meet them there. So that's like one thing that the game does have. Like, it's still not an actual time limit, because you can take all the time you want in the world to get there, and Delphine's not gonna matter. Like, Delphine's not gonna be mad at you for taking so long. And the way she presents this to you, you know, we have to get there before the dragon gets resurrected so we can find out what's happening. Like, you can take as long as you want. The game is going to wait for you. You're not going to, like, miss your opportunity to see this dragon get resurrected. It's gonna happen. So, yeah, and at this point you can kind of either follow her, or you can go on your own. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I do want to follow her, though.
Kynes Grove is this way. We can travel together or split up and meet there. Your choice. What is it?
I want to talk to you first. Where we head?
Kynes Grove. There's an ancient dragon burial near there.
I guess I'll
if we
just
can
hang
get
out
there
with
before
you.
it happens, maybe we'll learn how to stop it.
So, the AI likes to get distracted sometimes. Hello?
Come on.
Move it. There she goes. Oh, is it me? I want to follow you. I don't need you to follow me. Alright, well, while the AI figures out what it's gonna do, let's talk about something. So, my stream did get briefly interrupted when I had to get the door when my desk showed up. I mentioned I'm getting a desk. The reason is, right now I'm just using the table that is in winter season at Kotatsu as
I doubt the town
my...
are aware of you yet, so we should be safe from them at least.
Cool. Yeah, I'm currently using a table that is normally Kotatsu as my just general sitting thing, and it's fine. It serves its function. Ooh, we got a
We may
giant.
both end up dead, but at least it gets me out of Riverwood. I don't really think I'm cut out for the quiet life.
Hello. Yeah, the giants are just kind of... They're a lot more peaceful than people give them credit for. Like, they're territorial, but they're peaceful.
Keep a sharp lookout. We can't afford any delays.
So, yeah, this table is fine, but it's kind of not made for me to use it the way that I'm using it. Because it puts too much strain on my wrists when I'm using my mouse. So what I decided would be a good idea is to get a proper desk and a proper chair. So that, you know, my hand and wrist can be at the level that it's supposed to be when I'm using my mouse and keyboard. Because right now, yeah, it's putting a lot of strain on my wrist and it's not enjoyable. So yeah, the desk is here now. The chair is scheduled to be here tomorrow. And yeah, I need to figure out where to put it, because I could just put it exactly where this table is right now, or I could put it against a wall, or yeah, I'm not really sure. Come on, Delphine. Like, the fact that I want to stick with this AI means it's gonna take longer for me to get there than it's supposed to. What's that? Oh, hello! Ooh, that's interesting. Now, good thing Delphine is essential. Yeah, have I done the Bear Pelts quest yet? Bring on. Let me check the quest log. Have I done the Bear Pelts? I think I have. Yeah, I probably have. Either that or I just haven't picked it up yet. Anyway, there we go. Just a Spriggan attack. Nothing to worry too much about. So, yeah. Kinda looking forward to that. Another thing I'm looking forward to is this week I am on vacation. My contract, like my first contract date ends. Where are you going, Delphine? That's not the way to Kynes Grove. What is going on? Yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah, this weekend, or this week I mean, because school is officially on summer break now. It started on Wednesday with the closing ceremony, and then we've got, yeah, Wednesday was the closing ceremony,
Stay alert.
and then opening ceremony is like mid-August, so like I still technically have to go into work on a lot of these days, but I do have, you know, this is the time to take vacations if you have any days to do so, and I do. I've got some days saved up, and I'm deciding to take a little bit of a vacation because I need it. So all of this week I will be on break, and it'll be nice. It'll be relaxing. I have a few things planned. I wanted to go see a movie tomorrow, or today. No, tomorrow. I wanted to go see a movie tomorrow because I kind of want to go see the new Thor movie. Unfortunately, that movie, the only showtime for the sub version that I could find at my preferred movie theater is at 9:50 a.m.
We can't afford any delays.
I'm not getting up for a movie that early.
This is a notorious bandit hunt, but it's also the shortest way to Kynes Grove, so we may have to kill a few bandits.
If they've respawned. I've never heard this. I don't think I've ever stuck with her in Kynes Grove. I think I always just go off on my own, so this is a new experience for me. Just hearing her give these little dialogue talks. But yeah, no, the bandits are all dead. You shouldn't have to worry about a thing, Delphine. So, yeah, you know, I'm really excited for not having to work for a whole week.
We're not looking for trouble. We need to get to Kynes Grove as fast as we can.
And one of the things I have planned that I'm most excited for is Wednesday. Wednesday, I have a trip planned. to go to Osaka, and I'm hoping to get new glasses, and I'm gonna be getting like Thai massage. I booked a massage at a Thai massage place in Osaka, and that I'm looking forward to. It'll actually be my first ever professional massage. And yeah, it's just gonna be a relaxing day, a fun time. I am really excited for it. Like, it's been a while since I've been to a big city too. Like, the biggest city I go to occasionally is Kashihara. And there is some stuff there, but usually it's just because I have a reason to go there. Delphine, though. There we go. Yeah, it's usually because there's a reason for me to go to Kashihara. There's like, you know, an errand that I'm trying to run, various reasons. Last time Delphine! Where'd she go? She just disappeared. Well, the world's gonna end because Delphine
The Medes won't argue your
disappeared.
ear off about which one should go first.
Oh,
Hail, friend.
is that her?
It's good to see another merry soul
Okay, she's
enjoying
back.
this fine day. Ah, but you look tired. Come, share a bottle of honey brew mead with me.
Also, if anyone wants to clip her disappearing,
He smears beer. This good deed. Cheers, my friend. May your adventures find
if
you
anyone wants to
fail
clip
at
her
once.
disappearing, feel free to do so. That's a fun little event. That's the reason why I like to collect Haunting Brew mead whenever I come across it, because if you have Haunting Brew mead on you, whenever you
We'll
come
cross
across
the
that
White
event.
River and follow it to Windhelm. Then we can swing south to Kynesgrove.
Nice.
Better to stick together. I don't want you to get yourself killed before we even get there.
Yeah, if you meet the revelers and you have a bottle of Haunting Brew mead on you, they'll trade you a bottle of Haunting Brew mead for a charmed necklace, which is very good. That's no worries, Sabrina. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this Osaka trip, though. It's
We
gonna
better
be...
keep moving.
And as for right now, Delphine is back. I don't know what happened and why she popped out of existence, but she's not dead, so that's good. So is this the White River then? The game... Oh. I wanna fight the old orc! But Delphine's probably not gonna be willing to wait. Okay, old orc. I guess you're gonna die of starvation. Well, Delphine, we were looking for a dragon, and there's a dragon. So I guess we want to see how it gets resurrected. That's the main thing. Yeah. Yeah, Skyrim has geography. It's just not marked on the map. It is marked on the map in Oblivion, like it tells you like the Great Forest and like all the different names of the different roads. It's not marked on the Skyrim map though, unfortunately. I know this lake has a name. This river probably has a name. What we're currently following is a white river. That's this one right here. Yeah. I know this one... No. I can't remember the name of this lake either. So, yeah. I know the Gerald Mountains. That's like these ones right over here. These are the Gerald Mountains. That's about all I know. Trying to think if I know off the top of my head any other geographical names. This is the Sea of Ghosts up here in the north. Of course, we got the provinces and the different names of the holds. Yeah. It'd just be nice if they marked the names of the geographical stuff instead of this map. Like, the map is interesting and cool, but
There's an inn at Kynes Grove, the Braidwood. I hear they serve a nice dark ale. Nothing on the Sleeping Giant, of course.
yeah, she makes little quips as we walk along. I've never heard this before. Because I guess I've never done this journey with her. I always just kind of go off on my own. Jazzbait. Oh, we're gonna be wanting jazzbait grapes. We want all the jazzbait grapes. Do we? Hang on, how many do we have? 29. Okay, I'll collect.
Keep a sharp lookout. We can't afford any. Should have picked somebody else for
Oh, that's a bear. I'll collect jazzbait until I got 30. I think the quest only wants 20, but just in case. And the AI is being buggy again. I've definitely mentioned this before. Like, probably every episode where I stream this game. My favorite thing about Skyrim is the adventure. It's the traveling from one place to the next. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey, and it's about the scenery. You good, Delphine? Delphine is not good. She is horrendous. Good night.
You'll have to do better than that.
There we go. Nothing a quick shout can't fix. Jazzbait number 30. There we go. Don't need any more jazzbait.
Look out!
And there's alteration going up.
I don't see him anymore.
Well, it's right there, Delphine. You killed it. I don't see him anymore.
Stay alert. They may not have gone far.
It's dead.
I'm glad you were willing to trust me. I know it probably wasn't the best way to introduce myself, but old habits, you know.
There's been word of some trouble nearby. I'm on my way to investigate.
I would talk to you, but I gotta stick with Delphine, because she'll get lost if I don't stick close to her. She might pop out of existence. And there's Windhelm. love Windhelm. Like, okay, I hate the politics there. I would hate to live there. It's cold, it's full of stone, like, it's not an enjoyable place to live, especially if you're a minority like my character is. I'm a Khajiit, and I would be discriminated to hell if I lived there. But architecturally, it's a fascinating city. It's, you know, it's got the...
Not too much farther now. Kynesgrove is just down the road to the southeast of here.
Like, the way Windhelm is built as this
moving.
big stone... It's essentially a stone fortress, you know, like... It's the old capital of Skyrim. Or one of the old capitals. Like, what were all the places that were former capitals? I believe... Winterhold was one of them. I know Windhelm was one of them, and the current capital is Solitude. Windhelm is an ancient capital. It's from like the time of Ysgramor. He was one of the kings of Skyrim, right? Ysgramor. But his capital, like, Windhelm, I mean, feels the most Skyrim-esque out of all the capitals, or out of all the cities, I mean. And what I mean by that is when you say Skyrim and think Nords, think the frozen north, I'm thinking of like a medieval walled city in the snow. And that's exactly what Windhelm is. Like, Winterhold is kind of fallen to pieces. Dawnstar is just kind of like a frozen port town. It doesn't even have any walls, and all the buildings are just kind of general shacks like you would find in like Whiterun and basically everywhere, like Morthal too. But in Windhelm, it's all stone, it's all very permanent. It's all very ancient. Windhelm is such a unique city in that sense. And it has the most Skyrim-y feel out of all the cities that I can think of. I will say, another very permanent feeling city is Markarth. Markarth is another one that has that same feel of, this is a city built out of stone. This is a centuries-old city that has been built to withstand the test of time. And it's hardy, it's defensible, it is, like... If you think of a city that is hard to break into, and is, like, hard to besiege, we're talking Markarth and Windhelm. That's true. Markarth is repurposed Glimmer Ruin. That doesn't change the fact that Markarth is a walled city made out of stone. Like, sure, it's not a testament to Nord's craftsmanship like Windhelm is. Yeah, but here's the thing about Solitude. It doesn't have the same feel to me as Windhelm and Markarth do. Solitude doesn't feel very permanent. If that makes any sense. It doesn't have the same hardiness as Windhelm does. Windhelm feels very solid and very grounded. Solitude is up in the air, literally speaking. Like, it is built on this bridge that overlooks the harbor. And sure, a lot of the buildings are, like, made out of stone, but Solitude feels one earthquake away from becoming a second Winterhold. Like, any kind of natural disaster could break this bridge and it would fall. Now, the fact that it hasn't for however many years Solitude has existed is a testament to the fact that it is in fact very sturdy. But I'm talking about the feel. Yeah, like, I'm saying Solitude, I know technically speaking, and realistically speaking, it is a very solid place. You know, it's very defensible. It's... yeah. But it doesn't have the feel of Windhelm, is what I'm saying. Like, yes, it has all this stuff going for it, but Windhelm feels sturdier. If you catch my drift. Like, when I think of Nords in Skyrim, I think of very grounded, very sturdy, built to last. That's Windhelm. Solitude, on the other hand, it probably checks all those boxes, but looking at it, it doesn't have the same feel as Windhelm does. It doesn't feel very Nord-like to me. Which is, of course, false, because Solitude is built by Nords, and it is Nord-like. It is defensible. Like, there's the reason why it's a capital, but I'm just saying, Windhelm, architecturally, I like a little bit. I'm not saying I don't like the architecture of Solitude. Solitude has fascinating architecture, and just... it's a very fantasy, like, structure. Like, the first time you go to Solitude and you see the city built on an arch that's overlooking a harbor, that is a very unique feeling when you first come to Solitude. Like, so don't get me wrong, I love Solitude. It just doesn't feel the same way Windhelm does.
This is Kynes Grove.
Not much to... Wait, something's wrong.
Is this something wrong? The fact that it started snowing as soon as we got here? I will say the Skyrim weather is a little bit weird because, like, it has a very pop-in effect. Like, we were at Windhelm and it was fine, and now we're over here in Kynes Grove and all of a sudden it's snowing. Why are you walking so slow? She is taking her time.
No, you don't want to go up there. A dragon, it's attacking.
Oh, really? A dragon is attacking Kynes Grove?
Well, I don't know. Not yet. It flew over the town and landed on the old dragon mound. I don't know what it's doing up there, but I'm not waiting around to find out.
Come on, hurry. We might be too late.
Ah, don't worry, Delphine. The main quest is gonna wait for us. There is no time limit. I believe the only Elder Scrolls
on,
game
we need to find out
that
what's happening
has
up there.
any kind of time limit is Daggerfall, and that's just one quest where you have to meet someone in an inn. Belly! Yes, Hearthstream! We just got to Kyne's Grove.
Lorcan's eyes. Look at that big bastard. Keep your head down. Let's see what it does.
Lorcan's eyes is such a weird phrase. Benoy. Benoy. Benoy.
Salokunir, Zil Grotova Ursa. Slen,
Let's watch and wait. This is worse than I thought.
Dragon Necromancy.
Alduin Turi, Oantid Vokri Hajlik Sejun Kuzik. Ge Salokunir, Kalimir. Forlosai Dovakin. Zuu, Korav Nid Nor Dov Duhai. You do not even know our tongue, do you? Such arrogance, to dare take for yourself the name of Dova. Sarukanir, Kridar, Jur.
And now, it's time to kill Saloknir. I really want to learn the dragon language. It'd be so fun. There goes Alduin. Alright, Saloknir. You and me, buddy.
I am Saloknir.
Oh, come on, shout. Oh, shouts are broken. There we go. Down you go, buddy. That's Saloknir.
You did it. Wait, something's happening. Right above.
Let me have your bones.
So you really are.
No, 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 no. Taste like chicken.
It's true, isn't it? You really are Dragonborn.
Dragons are tasty.
I owe you some answers, don't I? Go ahead. Whatever you want to know. Nothing held back.
Are you single? Who are you and what do you want with me?
I'm one of the last members of the Blades. A very long time ago, the Blades were dragon slayers, and we served the Dragonborn, the greatest dragon slayer. For the last 200 years since the last Dragonborn Emperor, the Blades have been searching for a purpose. Now that dragons are coming back, our purpose is clear again. We need to stop them.
What do you know about the dragons coming back?
Not a damn thing. I was just as surprised as you to find that big black dragon here.
I've seen that dragon before, the one that got away.
Really? Where?
It was the one that attacked Helgen when Ulfric escaped from the Imperials.
Interesting. Same dragon. Damn it, we're blundering around in the dark here. We need to figure out who's behind it all.
The Blades. Who are they?
Exactly. Nobody even remembers our name these days. We used to be known across Tamriel as the protectors of the Septim Emperors. Those days are long gone, though. For the last 200 years, we've been searching for the next Dragonborn to guide and guard, as we are sworn to do. But we never found one, until now.
What's our next move?
The first thing we need to do is figure out who's behind the dragons. The Thalmor are our best lead. If they aren't involved, they'll know who is.
Remind me. Who are the Thalmor?
The faction that rules the Aldmeri Dominion. The ones who almost destroyed the Empire during the Great War 30 years back. There's no worse enemy to humankind in Tamriel. The Empire barely survived the last war. The Thalmor don't intend to lose the next one.
What makes you think that the Thalmor are bringing dragons back?
Nothing solid, yet. But my gut tells me it can't be anybody else. The Empire had captured Ulfric. The war was basically over. Then a dragon attacks, Ulfric escapes, and the war is back on. And now the dragons are attacking everywhere, indiscriminately. Skyrim is weakened. The Empire is weakened. Who else gains from that but the Thalmor?
Ah, scapegoating, you see. Why are the Thalmor after you?
Before the Great War, the Blades helped the Empire against the Thalmor. Our Grand Master saw them as the greatest threat to Tamriel. At the time, that was true. Maybe it still is. So we fought them in the shadows, all across Tamriel. We thought we were more than a match for them. We were wrong.
So, we need to find out what the Thalmor know about the dragons. Any ideas?
If we could get into the Thalmor embassy, it's the center of their operations in Skyrim. Problem is, that place is locked up tighter than a miser's purse. They could teach me a few things about paranoia.
So how do we get into the embassy?
I'm not sure yet. I have a few ideas, but I'll need some time to pull things together. Meet me back in Riverwood. If I'm not back when you get there, wait for me. I shouldn't be long. Keep an eye on the sky. This is only going to get worse.
Oh yeah, no, the Thalmor had nothing to do with this. Like, Alduin's return is just kind of a thing that's been scripted since the very dawn of time. Like, when the ancient Nords defeated the dragons and Alduin, he's been, like, determined by fate to return someday, because his job is to end the world. So, but the thing is, nobody knows any of this. Everyone's all focused on themselves and their own personal conflict. Like, they see the aftermath of the Great War and the Civil War as the only thing that matters in the entire world right now. Also,
My pa runs this town, and you're going to be in big trouble if you mess with me.
Someone around here has a quest for me. Not sure who. But yeah, like, if a conflict is going on, everyone is going to assume that everything has to do with that one conflict. They can't see the bigger picture. They see the only thing that matters is the aftermath of the Great War and the current Civil War. They don't see that all of this would still be happening, even if it wasn't the aftermath of a Great War.
Here for work? Get an axe and bring me all the wood you can chop.
Yeah, are things not going well for you?
We got the mill up and running before we found out that the big stand of trees on the hill was sacred. Now we can't cut them, and we can't afford to buy another mill somewhere else. So we scrounge whatever we can from around the tundra.
There's someone here that has a quest for me. I'm not sure where they are. Are they in the inn? But yeah, like, basically the entire plot of the dragons returning, no one's sure why it's happening, and everyone is blaming everyone else. Like, the Empire believes it's the Stormcloaks. The Stormcloaks believe it's the Empire. The Blades believe it has to be the Thalmor. Like, and the Thalmor believe it's probably got something to do with, like, the Stormcloaks. No one can agree on what it is.
Poor Rogie. If you're feeling charitable, buy the Nordham mead. He's good for it.
Alright.
He's been in Kynes Grove forever. Great storyteller. Keeps everyone's spirits up. Owes me a lot of coin for drinks. I keep telling him not to worry about it, but he's got the stubborn Nord blood. Damn fool doesn't have the coin to pay me back, so he just beats himself up over it, and then he gets thirsty and it cycles all over again. If you could convince him that I don't care about his tab, it'd certainly make me feel better.
Any bounty work?
Of course. It's all in this note.
Interesting. I have not killed Ulfric yet. I haven't even started the Civil War quest in this playthrough. Bounty. Rumor has it that Forsworn raiding parties have been pushing further and further east along the Jarrell Mountains. The arrival of Legate Vicendel has prevented further incursions, but they failed to apprehend their leader, Crow's Tooth. While Crow's Tooth has been separated from her forces, she is believed to have fled with considerable spoils. In an effort to put an end to this threat, anyone killing Crow's Tooth may claim her stolen loot. Mercenaries, like infamous sellsword Bjormund Windstrider, has been seen heading into the mountains beyond Darklight Tower. While they could have been after the treasure, it is feared Crow's Tooth is gathering these forces for a renewed assault. We ask any capable warriors for their aid in dealing with the potential threat. Enuriel.
Until next time.
Yeah, so... basically, that's probably another quest that's been added with the Anniversary Edition, if I had to guess. Who are you? Do you have the quest that I'm looking
Outsider? No reason to stop in Kynes Grove. Nosy one, huh? I was a mage back in Morrowind. I lend my talents to the mines here, helping them keep the tunnels safe. By Azura, it gets hot in there. I use frost salts for a potion to keep the heat bearable, but I'm out. If you want to go to the trouble, feel free. I suppose I could offer you a bit of free alteration training when you get back.
I don't even think that's the person that I wanted to talk to, but I've got your frost salts.
Well, you actually did what you said you were going to do. I'm impressed. Here, let me teach you a thing or two about alteration magic. It's the least I can do. Safe travels.
Yeah, like the Stormcloaks, I got into this discussion on Twitter the other day, actually, like, the whole Stormcloaks versus Imperials thing. Like, so here's the thing.
If you bring mead, you're welcome here. Even if you don't, you're still welcome. What do you think I am? A beggar? My family has always paid back every single coin we owed, going back to Tiber Septim's time.
Hell yeah, that's the best thing with daggers, is like, if you get to the backstabbing, it's so good. Stop being stubborn, let it go.
I guess you're right. A Nord shouldn't be so proud to turn down a kind soul's generosity. Tell Idra I'll be fine.
There we go.
Until next time.
Yeah, so the thing with the... like... the Stormcloaks have something going for them. I'm not saying they're 100% in the right. I will say, though, like... they've kind of been living under Imperial rule for a long time, and they kind of want to just be able to do their own thing. And especially after losing the Great War, two things happened when the Great War lost. Number one, they realized that the Empire can't protect them from everything. And number two, they realized that the Empire is actually pretty weak. Oh, and number three is that the White Gold Concordant that required Talos worship to be outlawed is kind of against Nord's entire culture. Like, you're telling the Nords to give up one of their cultural symbols. Talos wasn't a great person. As much as the Nords venerate him as a god, he wasn't all that great and noble. He is, in fact, a very problematic person in the Pantheon for the elves. And yeah, so like the Stormcloaks are challenging the Empire's right to rule because they actually don't have a right to rule. Like, they do have a lot of stuff going for them for that. Like, the Empire isn't good. That's about the extent to which the Stormcloaks have the right. Like, they're not great people for a lot of reasons. They have the right in that they want to defend their homeland, and they see it as, you know, they realize that the Empire can't really protect them, and they can probably do a better job of doing that on their own. What they don't have the right is, number one, this isn't even their homeland. They are literally living on land that used to be owned by people that they genocided. Yeah. Now, the Thalmor. The Thalmor have a lot of issues. But I can kind of see where they're going. Oh, wait. I'm not even leaving yet. There's one person that I still need to talk to, I swear, has a quest for me.
Did you see my husband already? It'll be good to not have to hear him whining about his debts. Rogi pawned a few of his things back when he still had things to pawn. Take them.
I don't want them. I don't want them. Thank you, but I don't want them.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me? What did he say?
My pa runs this town, and you're going
Him. Oh, great. Seen the remnants of the grove?
That's why I did not
tell you. Well, that was me. Me and my sister.
That's... Is it someone that's still in the mine? It's like... I guess it's only 9:30. Where's the mine? Here it is. Somewhere around here. Let's take a look inside. I swear there's someone... It's not just the person that wants the frost salts. There's someone that has a fetch quest for me. I'm fairly certain. Oh, and speaking of fetch quests, something... So I was watching what do you call it? a video essay the other day about... What was it even about? I don't think it was about Skyrim. It was about the Elder Scrolls in general, and Morrowind. And a big thing a lot of people have complaints about is, in games, is fetch quests. You know? And fetch quests are kind of hard to define, but they're generally, like, you go, someone at point A tells you to go to point B, and you have to get something there, or you have to kill someone there, or you have to talk to someone there. Like, those are the things that you have to do. Or you have to deliver something. Those are what fetch quests are, and a lot of people, you know, complain about them and say that the, you know, games that use fetch quests are inherently bad. The thing is, a lot of quests in games that's just what they are. Like, there's not really it's not easy, and there aren't a lot of great ways to have quests that aren't just fetch quests. And so the issue that people have with fetch quests in the games shouldn't be that they exist at all. It's the execution of them. Like, if you break every single quest down in this game, they're all, in some degree, a fetch quest. Right? Like, maybe there might be a few exceptions, but for the most part, it's someone tells you to go to X place and do X thing, and then you turn in the quest and get your reward. Every quest is, yeah, like, assassination quests are fetch quests. All these quests are fetch quests, and people just complain about fetch quests as though their very existence is inherently bad for gaming. And I think they're ignoring the dressing. Because if you break everyone, like, if you break every single human being down, all we have are skeletons, and, like, you know, like, we're just skeletons with a bunch of meat. So if you want to get to the very basic, bare bones basics, like, sure. They're all the same thing. You go to X place, do X thing, and turn it in. But that's not what we are. That's not what humans are. We're not just skeletons and meat. We have a lot more complexity to us. That's what makes us individuals and what gives us personality. And quests can be seen in the same way. Like, if fetch quests are a necessity. Like, if you take away the bones of a person, they will just be a bunch of mush. It's how the fetch quest is constructed that matters. You know, if someone tells you to go someplace and kill something, you shouldn't complain about, oh, the game told me to go to someplace and kill something. You should instead be looking at, why does this person need this thing to be done? Why do I need to be the person to do it for them? Why, like, what is the significance of the thing that I'm doing? How does this affect the entire world as a whole, or is this just something to help out this one person? These are the details that you should be paying attention to. It's not whether or not a quest is a fetch quest. It's what is it about this quest that makes it stand out and gives it its little details. Because, yeah, like, that's just a thing that I think a lot of people just kind of want to complain. Is the thing. They want to come up with because like, if you can have a specific reason why you don't like something, that's fine. Cool, good on you. But I think there's a lot of emphasis on people, like, if you dislike something, you have to have a reason to dislike it. You know, it's not good enough that you simply don't vibe with the thing. You have to oh, there are vampires about. It's not enough that you simply don't vibe with the thing. You have to have a specific reason why you don't vibe with the thing. And so people will start grasping at straws. Well, I don't like the story in this game because it's all fetch quests. Buddy.
Yes?
Yeah, so that's the vampire disguising itself as Vigilant of Stendarr. Frankly, I'm not gonna do anything about it. They haven't challenged me, they haven't threatened me. Yeah, this is a random event in the game where you find corpses of Vigilants of Stendarr, and they have no clothes on them because vampires have killed them and stolen their clothes so they can disguise themselves as vigilants. But the thing about vampires is they use conjuration magic, and if, say, another instance, like perhaps this wolf, made the vampire go aggro, then the first thing that the vampire is going to do is resurrect a corpse, and the nearest corpse that there was to resurrect was one of the vigilants. So that's what just happened there. Anyway. Now we could fast travel to Riften to turn in this quest, but it's just down the road. But yeah, you know, just saying, people complain a lot about fetch quests, and they don't really know what they're complaining about. It's just hip to complain about them.
I'm on a pilgrimage to the shrine of Azura, the goddess of twilight, if you'll excuse me.
So yeah, here's some wolves. Hello. That punch. Amethyst. Yes. We're probably gonna get there before daytimes. Also, what's the current main story? So where's that? Rosetooth Camp. Honestly, not that far. But no. Okay, we need to meet Delphine in Riverwood. I guess there's no reason for us not to just keep doing that quest. Hang on, I'm lost. Where do I go for Riften? I go up, right? Isn't there a sign? Oh, there's a spider. There should be a road sign. No, I didn't want that. Take it back. Take it back. Yeah, I think I have to go up. Because Riften is on this high elevation. Have I mentioned this before? I definitely have mentioned this before. But this is the thing I love about Skyrim's map, is just how vertical it is. Like, if you think about the changes in elevation, like, Windhelm is right down in this valley. Like, it's in a Well, not valley necessarily, but you know, it's low elevation, it's right down in a harbor because it's built around, you know, the harbor. Meanwhile, Windhelm, no, that is Winterhold, is higher elevation, you know, it's on a mountain cliffside. And then there's Riften, which you don't really see that it has high elevation when you're there, but when you notice that everywhere else, basically the road is pointing downwards and sloped, like, oh, there's a bear. You know, you notice Riften has a higher elevation. And then, well, we talked about Solitude before, you know, that's up on top of an archway. Dawnstar is a bit lower elevation because it's right down, you know, it's another port city, built on the harbor. So yeah, you know, just every little location across the map is full of ups and downs. Like, Skyrim is very mountainous, and some of the mountains are a lot more subtle than others. And that's what the Rift is. The Rift is high elevation, but you don't really see it. I thought this stump was a giant from the distance. Like, it kind of looked like giants. But we are getting close to Riften. This is actually Shorestone right here. Pretty sure I did the quest for Shorestone. Hello?
Well, look what we have here. Yes.
I mean, I am an unarmed build, so...
I'll teach you to talk to me that way. Come on, let's see what you're made of. That's it?
Oh, there you go.
You're tougher than you look. You got me fair and square. Thank you. Here, this is for you.
What? I've never seen this before. This is most definitely added with the... what you call it, Anniversary Edition. So, let's take a look at your notes. We'll be in touch. What the fuck? So Buddy just shows up, being like, hey, I'm looking for a fight. And then I beat the shit out of him. And he's like, oh, thank you for that. Here's a note. There he is, by the way. You can kind of see the shimmer. Here's a note. And then he turns himself invisible, which not any random nobody has the invisibility spell. And then he wanders off, like... This is so weird. I gotta say, the quest has got me intrigued. Alright, we got bandits. If any bandits want to kill me, I welcome them to try.
Now ain't this a surprise?
Ain't this a surprise?
I'll show you a real fight.
Alright, if this guy has full plate armor, I may be willing to steal it off of him. Because I really like plate armor, and I think it's better than Orcish, which is what I currently have. So, now the problem is, it's really heavy. And I have all these dragon bones on me, and I don't have any followers. I'll take it. But now I need... do I have any strength potions? Well, I do have a strength necklace. Charmed necklace. Then I can... potion... Alright. We're gonna try our best to get through this, clear this bandit camp as much as possible, and then just run for Riften. When we're there, we are going to look about potentially upgrading this. Because I just want to see if I can get my steel plate armor to be better than my orcish. Because if I can, then we're gonna swap. It is gonna require me to get a better soul gem. I'm willing to risk it. One more, and then this place will be cleared out. Oh, you'll bury me. That's nice. I guess he's up top. Is this where you are? Sure.
Go ahead, try and fight back. That's it? That's all you've got?
Punch you, and you're dead. Alright. So, what do you got? Not much. Just gonna break my legs a little bit. Okay. Let's run. Let's run back to Riften. And we are gonna see about potentially upgrading our equipment. Cause yeah, I think steel plate is better than orcish. Pretty sure steel plate is like one below ebony. And normally I'd be like, no, I'm gonna wait until I'm able to craft it myself. But in this case, I'm actually willing to take it off another person's body and upgrade it that way. Because I don't have the perk for it, and I'm not going to bother investing in the perk for it. Because the perk is all the way down in a different skill tree that I'm not really willing to do for armor that I'm not even going to use in the late game. So instead, I'm just going to take someone else's armor. Now the problem is, I don't have the perk for it, which means I can't improve it as much. But I just want to see. If it turns out that I can't improve it as much, then I'm just going to sell it. Okay, we got 5 hours. 5 hours to go before shop's open. Alright, so over here, let's see. So, first things first. Apparel, throw on my gauntlets of smithing and my ring of smithing. Anything else I need? Don't think so. Okay, and oh, also, what is my current armor? That's 160. It actually is only 124 because my full set bonus. So 124. How much can we improve this? 151. That's interesting. So why do I have steel armor? Oh, I got the steel armor as a reward for that one quest. Okay. Well, here's what we're gonna do. I think we're just gonna swap on over. Now, we still need gauntlets. But I suspect we can just buy those. However, okay, I don't have Honeyside, do I? I don't think I do.
Take my advice. Don't listen to that talk of the face sculpted down in the racket flag.
I do not. Okay. In which case, Zach, thank you for the follow. Am I part of the Thieves Guild yet? I don't think I am. Where am I? Taking care of business. Yeah, so I'm not a proper part of the Thieves Guild, so I'm just gonna rent a room in the inn. At the Bee and Barb. And...
My skill in battle is unmatched.
Here for a room or something to drink? Show me some coin first. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
No, that's fine. I know where it is.
If you're looking for a challenge,
oh, right. Sam with his drinking challenge. Where is my... Is this one? Yes. Okay, so... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will be over encumbered when I wake up.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Oh, right. I can't get well rested because I've got beast blood. I forgot that was a thing. Oh well. I still prefer to sleep in a bed than just wait.
Kirava, we're running low on Blackbriar mead.
If only Maven would stop raising the price on it, maybe I could afford to stock more cases.
I need to get mead. I think I might order me some more mead. It's been a while since I've had it. I haven't had it since Christmas. Okay, buddy. I want to see if you...
Buy some armor and live to tell about it.
Come to see looking to protect yourself or deal some damage.
Oh, he's got ebony plate. Ooh, no, I'm gonna craft that myself, actually. I'm just interested in... He does have steel. Nice. They're a bit expensive, though, so let me just swap over to... Amulet Zephyr.
Remember, what brings you to battle? Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage?
I'll buy this steel plate. Much better price. Silver is also a thing. Okay. We'll sell you these. And this.
Remember, nothing like the smell of a white-hot blade, eh? Remember, nothing but genuine fire salts will do. Forge knows the difference.
Oh wait. Remember, re-equip my... Oh wait, no, I guess I don't have to re-equip. Oh, it was the charmed necklace that I had equipped. Yeah, I'm fine without that now. Swap back to you.
Baubles and gleaming gemstones over here.
That's a little bit better. Now,
Why take a chance?
we need to get enchanting. Problem is, I don't really have any grand souls on me at the moment. I have none, in fact.
Finest oddities from Morrowind.
So what I'm gonna do, go back to Amulet of Zenithar. I got a bit more selling to do, or buying rather.
Can I interest you in everything I've got on display, really?
Do you have any Grand Soul Gems? You do not. Ripperoni. Okay. Well, I would like to sell you things. Let's see what you can... Okay. I want to do some disenchanting first. Yeah, okay. Before I do any buying, I want to do disenchanting. Who are you? Hello? Oh, I have to turn in the Nernroot to you.
Any luck gathering those ingredients?
Here's the Nernroot.
Yes, excellent samples. Thank you. This coin should compensate you for all the bother.
600 gold.
Yes. Master Elgrim will be pleased I've restored his stock of these rare ingredients. I feel I owe you a bit more than some meaningless coin for all your diligence. Here. This key unlocks my supply chest at Elgrim's Elixirs. Feel free to take what you need from time to time. I'll be refilling it once every few days or so.
Nice.
Don't
You know
forget
what?
to check your supply chest.
Let's take a
from time to
look
time.
at it right now, just to see if there's anything good in there. Because if I can get some good stuff...
This place has seen better days.
Conjurer's Elixir, don't care. I will... Do I care for that? Yeah, if I remember to, for any master locks, I'll use it. I can generally do master locks just by myself, but it's good to remember that those kinds of potions exist, just to make my life a little bit easier. So, where... Right, I still need to find someone that will sell me a Grand Soul Gem. And I need 4 of them.
You gonna buy some? Just what you see here.
Do you have any Grand Soul Gems? You don't. Damn. In that case...
Come back when you're ready to spend more
I
gold.
don't think you sell Soul Gems. It's worth checking. Do you?
Agree. Just what you see here.
No, you don't.
Safe travels.
The mage lady probably has some. The court wizard. He's telling me you got Grand Soul Gems.
Have you heard? There's been
I
another
know.
dragon attack.
Take a look.
Times grow this time.
4. That's exactly how many I need. This is gonna hurt. Just to make sure. Am I still wearing... Yes, I am still wearing the Amulet of Zenithar. This is gonna hurt. Okay, this is fine. We'll make our money back, though.
Now, where did I put those spiders?
Do I have any improved enchantments? Anything of enchanting? I've got 3 Enchanter's Drafts. Perfect. Okay. So let's make a note of what we want, and then we're gonna down the potion, and this is gonna be so great. Alright, so. Steel plates. What do we want? Actually, first, disenchant. Okay, nothing to disenchant. That's what I thought, just making sure. Conjuration, destruction, health, heavy armor, illusion, light armor, smithing, and stamina. Okay, so what I want... I definitely want heavy armor,
but I'm in the middle of some delicate experiments.
Health might not be a bad one, though I kind of like the idea of some of these. Like, fortify stamina is actually not terrible, but what about alteration? Oh, right, I can only do one. Okay, in that case, heavy armor is. The other one that I want, boots. Resist stuff. That's literally it. Okay, in which case, probably the carry weight for the boots. And the gauntlets, these are the important ones. These we want unarmed. And the helmet, what can we do? I guess for you we can do alteration. Anything else I'd rather have? Illusion, lockpick, and magicka. Yeah, we'll just do the alteration on the helmet. Okay, so that is the plan. Drop a save. Let's do this. So, helmet. Actually, most important thing will be the gauntlets. We have to get the gauntlets to be unarmed. Unarmed. Soldier. Next one, we will do the armor. Fortify health. No, heavy armor. Fortify heavy armor, grand soldier. Next will be the boots, carry weight. And the last one, helmet, alteration. There we go. Nice. Now, let's swap over. Also, let's compare. So, the orcish armor had heavy armor by 13. We're now up to 22. The boots, carry capacity 29, is now up to 34. The gauntlets, we're going up from 10 to 11, not that big a difference. And the helmet, alteration costs 15 less, 22 less. Awesome. Oh, this is a good upgrade. Now, let's just swap over to the main stuff. Want ring. Awesome. Now back to Amulet of Zenithar. We are gonna sell you a bunch of stuff and try to make our money back. Here, where'd she go? Here she is.
I know. Take a look.
Alright, first sell you that. Probably got these. I don't need 2 charm necklaces. Don't really need that one either. Yeah, sell as much as I can, really. Have any books? Not really. But I've got these, and these I'm not going to be filling up. So we about got our money back.
First, then some.
Now I'm gonna do a little bit more selling. Most importantly would be the armor. So we can flog off our Imperial armor. Here's our new look, not Imperial, Orcish. Here's our new look, by the way. Looking nice and snazzy. I love the steel plate look.
Come to see.
Steel plate armor is beautiful. Take my Orcish stuff. You won't even be able to afford the helmet. Ha.
Remember, nothing but genuine fire salts will do.
In which case, Grelka,
You gonna
would you like
see
this
for
helmet?
yourself.
Anything else I can sell? Got potions. A lot of potions that I don't really care for. And okay, I guess we can sell these amethysts. Perfect.
Come back.
Now, back to
When you're ready to spend more gold. Goodness knows.
that's a nice upgrade. The numbers not massive. They're just slight upgrade. However, this is gonna be good, and this is gonna keep us going until we're like, how far away are we in terms of smithing? Still need level 80 smithing, so we're still 14 levels away from that. That's kinda unfortunate. This 14 levels is gonna be not easy. We can do 5 levels each time we level up. That's it. There's not a lot of crafting that we're doing. I guess we could... Do we have anything to craft jewelry right now? I don't think we do.
What brings you to Balliman today? Repair? Purchase?
Yeah, we don't. Okay. Keep an eye out for gold and silver ingots. Those are the important ones. They'll let us craft jewelry so we can still keep that moving. In the meantime, though, let's deliver this horn to High Hrothgar and get the last word of unrelenting force. We could have walked the entire way. I didn't feel like doing it, though. Alright. 9 p.m. Let's talk to Arngir, give him the horn. What's the intent? There we go.
Ah, you've retrieved the horn of Jörgen Wimkoll. Well done. You have now passed all the trials. Come with me. It is time for us to recognize you formally as Dragonborn.
Right.
You are ready to learn the final word of unrelenting force. Da, which means push. Da. With all 3 words together, this shout is much more powerful. Use it wisely. Master Wolfgar will now gift you with his knowledge of Da. You have completed your training, Dragonborn. We would speak to you. Stand between us and prepare yourself. Few can withstand the unbridled voice of the Greybeards, but you are ready. Lingra, Rossi, Saran, Strundul, Othi Bala, Kro, Bran, now. You have tasted the voice of the Greybeards and passed through unscathed. High Hrothgar is open to you.
And there we go. We are now officially recognized as Dragonborn. We are powerful enough to withstand the voice of the Greybeards. Now, Arngir, tell me.
Your training proceeds well, Dragonborn.
What was that ceremony about?
We spoke the traditional words of greeting to a Dragonborn who has accepted our guidance. The same words were used to greet the young Talos when he came to High Hrothgar before he became the Emperor Tiber Septim.
What did you say?
I sometimes forget you are not versed in the dragon tongue as we are. This is a rough translation. Long has the storm crown languished, with no worthy brow to sit upon. By our breath we bestow it now to you, in the name of Kyne, in the name of Shor, and in the name of Atmora of old. You are Ysmir now, the dragon of the north. Hearken to it.
So, yeah. We're now Ysmir. Which is apparently a title that gets passed down from Dragonborn to Dragonborn. Is there anything else I can talk to you about? I could ask him to teach me about the voice. That's just a radiant quest. I'm not sure if I want it.
Wind, guide you.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, there we go. Now, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to do some lore digging to remind me and jog my memory. Who is Ysmir? Because Ysmir is, I know, very significant in the lore of Skyrim. I know that much. But in the meantime, so here's what. Yeah, we need to meet Delphine, and her next thing that she's gonna do is send me to Solitude. I guess that's gonna be our next big journey then, is Solitude. I'm not sure how much longer we're gonna do the main quest, or if there's something I'd rather be doing instead. I might decide I want to swap over to one of the other guilds, perhaps. We'll see. I'll decide what I want to do, but let's just head to Riverwood, I guess, and talk to Delphine. Well, 2 a.m. meeting in Riverwood. Nothing too suspicious.
Come on in. We got.
I don't think you were followed. Come on, I have a plan.
Where did you go after Kyne's Grove?
figured out how we're going to get you into the Thalmor embassy.
You're not coming?
That would be a bad idea. I'd be too likely to attract the wrong kind of attention. But they don't know you at all yet.
So what's your plan? How do I infiltrate?
The Thalmor ambassador, Elenwen, regularly throws parties where the rich and connected cozy up to the Thalmor. I can get you into one of those parties. Once you're inside the embassy, you can get away and find Elenwen's secret files. I have a contact inside the embassy. He's not up for this kind of high-risk mission, but he can help you. His name is Malborn. Wood Elf. Plenty of reason to hate the Thalmor. You can trust him. I'll get word for him to meet you in Solitude at the Winking Skeever. You know it? While you're doing that, I'll work on getting you an invitation to Elenwen's little party. Meet me at the Solitude stables after you've arranged things with Malborn. Any questions?
Who's this contact of yours? You sure I can trust him?
Don't worry about Malborn. He's not a dangerous character like you. But he hates the Thalmor at least as much as I do. He's a wood elf. The Thalmor wiped out his family back in Valenwood during one of their purges that we never hear about. Luckily, they don't know who he really is, or he wouldn't be serving drinks at the ambassador's parties.
How am I gonna get in?
Let me handle that. You'll have a real invitation, don't worry. As long as you can act the part of a Thalmor toady, you'll get past the guards.
Once I'm inside, then what?
That's when the fun starts. You'll have to slip away from the party without raising the alarm. Then you'll need to find Elenwen's office and search her files. Malborn should be able to point you in the right direction.
See you in Solitude.
Sounds good. Be careful.
Alright, let me loot the place real quick. And then... let's see.
What? Something you're still confused about?
I haven't... no, I don't want the lavender. Take it back. Yeah, because I didn't really take the time to properly loot the place. Last one's here. Salt files.
Something you're still confused about?
Shut up. Shut up. Let me just loot the place.
What? Something you're still confused about?
Oh, jeez. Well, this is one of the few places you can get a blade sword. It's a weapon that you cannot craft. It's actually fairly decent early on. You know, because your steel sword only does 9 damage, the blade sword does 12. So, if you can kind of rush the main quest, it's not a bad weapon to get. But otherwise... don't really need those. Alright, let's get out of here. Now, the quest that we're about to do is one that I think is a very interesting quest, because it's one of the most unique quests in Skyrim. It's one of the few that wants you to, like, that emphasizes coercion. Like, obviously, on paper, when you actually do the quest, it doesn't really matter if you do it stealth or guns blazing. Like, no matter what the case is, the outcome is always going to be the same. That doesn't matter so much. I believe this is it right here. But yeah, around here is the embassy. No, it's further up. Right? Like around here, I think. Somewhere around here. But yeah. So the embassy quest line, or the quest itself, I mean, is very unique. You know, it's got unique dialogue options. It has... The first part of the mission is about, you know, socializing and talking to various people. And it's a quest where the outcome and your options all change based on what you've already done in the game. So this is a party at the embassy that you're going to be invited to, right? So who's going to be at the embassy? It's going to be people who are cozying up to the Thalmor. So it's not going to be any of the Jarls that are associated with, you know, the Stormcloaks. They're going to turn their noses up and not want to be involved at the embassy. Not that they'd be invited anyway. But, you know, you're going to be seeing a lot of very powerful figures at the embassy. You know, Jarls, you're going to see Maven herself, since she's a big name person. It's like the equivalent of meeting Elon Musk at like a big party, you know, like someone who's not necessarily a politician, but she's still heavily ingrained and involved in politics. And depending on who you've interacted with before and who you've helped out before, they're going to be willing to help you. Now, there is always the one, like, they do give you the one freebie, the drunk guy who you can always convince to help you, but everyone else, whoever is at the party, will change up based on where the Civil War is and who's currently the Jarl in certain holds, but it's also going to change up who you can talk to and who you can convince to help you get past the guards. And that little bit is, in my opinion, one of the most fascinating quests. Like, one of the most unique quests in this game. And keep in mind, it's technically a fetch quest. Because you are, like, you haven't been told specifically what to get, but you're being told generally, break into the embassy, get information, and get out. That's a fetch quest. And yet, it's a fascinating, unique quest that you don't see anything like it in the entire rest of the game. So, I'm just saying.
I've been looking for you.
Oh, hello.
Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands
Is this about
only.
the guy that I beat up?
Let's see here. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Revisit this letter. Hart, I've been watching your exploits for some time. I've long known of your cunning nature, but after seeing the sheer might you demonstrated in your encounter with Azadi, I think you're exactly the kind of person we need right now. We are known as the Remnants. Some call us the Eyes That Watch. For decades, we have helped steer the destiny of Hammerfell. We are a mirage, a constant and formless threat to our enemies on the horizon. I, Vijay, serve as their leader. Though the Dominion withdrew from Hammerfell years ago, the Thalmor continue to strike at us in secret. We received word from the city of Sentinel that one of our own, Rakid, has been taken hostage by the Thalmor. They've been aided by Ismail, a powerful noble and traitor to his people. There is no doubt that we'll try to extract what Rakid knows about Sentinel's defenses. We have to stop them before that happens. We've learned that Rakid may be transported across Skyrim soon. It's vital that we intercept him from the Thalmor before it's too late. I need someone like you who can move freely throughout Skyrim and not arouse suspicion. Speak to me in Pure Water Run in the hills of Markarth. I await your arrival. Vijay. Need someone who can move freely throughout Skyrim and not arouse suspicion. I'm the fucking Dragonborn. I am nothing but I guess I don't arouse suspicion necessarily, but I sure as hell do arouse, what's the word? I'm conspicuous, that's the thing. I'm very conspicuous. I'm the Dragonborn. But yeah, that is, I guess, a quest related to, yeah. This is, I guess, a quest in the Anniversary Edition, and that'll that'll be interesting. This seems very well thought out and well written, you know. It involves a faction of people from Hammerfell fighting against the Thalmor in Skyrim. And while I doubt the quest is actually going to take me to Hammerfell, the association itself is enough for me because, let me tell you, Hammerfell is probably my favorite location in all of the Elder Scrolls. I kind of like High Rock too, just the entire Iliac Bay area is my favorite area of the game. Well, not the game, of the franchise. I love the Iliac Bay, and Hammerfell is part of that, and it's good stuff. So, but that's all for next time. We're gonna next time continue on with the main quest. We'll trek on to Solitude. We'll probably get distracted with some of the other quests in Solitude before we continue with the main quest, but yeah, you know, we're gonna make some progress. Now, yeah, so next time will be Saturday. I'm gonna try and work on actually getting back to making a schedule again. Wednesday is a little up in the air as for what I'm gonna be able to do or where I'll be going and stuff like that. Because, like I said, I will be going to Osaka on Wednesday, so I'm not sure if I'll stream that day or not. If not, though, I will keep tabs open for what I'll be doing and when I'll be doing it. And in the meantime, if you want to support me, you can check. There's my links right there in chat. Check out my card for all the places you can support me. You can sub to me right here if you want to give, you know, if you want to have access to various emotes. And you can also go and, yeah, just check out the panels down below there. They have all the information that you could ever want to know about me. And in the meantime, let's find someone to raid, I guess. Right here in chat is our raid message, which you can copy and paste when we get there. Who is our target? Who shall we raid? Well, you know what? We are gonna raid Raylene, who's, she's one of my partners. She's been working very hard lately. She's started a new job at McDonald's, which has taken up some of her time, so she can't stream a lot at the same times as she usually does. So we're gonna send her some love and tell her she's doing a great job. You know, just great job doing her job and getting the money that she needs for living, because living is fucking expensive. So yeah, we're gonna go and send our love to her. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming out. I will see you when I see you. Bye bye.